How were you able to bring that complexity to the character?
Well, that's a wonderful question you asked me. I mean, I think that was, you've captured what was the essence of Marie, which was how fierce she was in pursuit of a story and how intensely vulnerable she was when alone, left alone with her thoughts. You pay the price for that sort of ferocity and that determination, and her instinct was always to go deeper than other journalists, was to perhaps go deeper in when other people were turning back. She felt that she would never get to the truth unless she was right up close, and as we know, when you're right up close, that's when it's painful. That's when you really experience and you jump into people's trauma with them. I think, I relish the chance to put a complicated woman on screen, a heroine who's undoubtedly a heroine, but who we can recognize ourselves in, because there's not every part of her that is flawless. She makes mistakes. She pays a price in terms of her dependence on alcohol for that kind of bravery. And I think always I feel that you don't get fierce light without the shadow. And she certainly had that. Not that she would want necessarily people to see it. She was someone who'd throw herself into a social life with such vigor that there were many people in her life who would never know that she had the dark side. And I think that's our job as filmmakers, is to try and show everything.
Why do you think she cared so much about something that a lot of Americans are completely apathetic to, and that is the plight of refugees and other people in other parts of the world?
Well, because I think she knows that trauma has no borders, that the human experience and human suffering and civilians caught up in other people's conflicts, it just so happens that it might be the leader of their own country who's put them in the situation, but it doesn't mean they identify with that leader's politics. And I think she had tremendous empathy for human suffering. I mean, I think we all would if we bothered to look. It's just that people aren't always bothering to pay attention. And, her hope was that her stories would puncture the bubble. We're very conditioned these days to feel outrage. We do want to feel, but we're conditioned to feel outrage at a headline, often not lured or coaxed into looking any deeper. And Marie was always looking deeper, and I found playing her so rewarding, and I read all of her journalism going back through from the 80s to, spans 40 years. She's covered, conflicts. She covered the war in Bosnia, which I mean, reading that stuff, with hindsight, it's so moving. And she was so disciplined because she went with the Croats and she went with the Serbs. She went on both sides, and she, yes, in Syria, I think she really saw that this was a people's uprising that was crushed by violence. And I think she would just be so upset now to see where we are at in Syria, and 6 years later, it looks like a dictator is going to win and have control of the history. And I think she was always looking to present other narratives and to offer up a voice to the voiceless, I suppose.